Hello everyone again, it's Chief Troy here with some more IR cooking. And today I'm going to make some chewy coconut cookies. Alright, so let's get at it. So today the ingredients are a 1 1/4 cup of just all-purpose flour. Alright, so then you have a half a teaspoon of baking powder on the side and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt over here. All right, so then you're going to have approximately half a teaspoon, could be a little bit more, just doesn't really matter, of vanilla extract. Use 1 egg. Use a half a cup of white sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. So brown sugar is packed. I'm using yellow brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar, makes no difference. All taste the same, to be quite honest with you. And you want to use a half a cup of softened butter. After it's softened, I just like to make it little slices, easier to mix up together. All right, and of course, coconut. So I use it's sweetened coconut, and it's just like flakes. All right, so, and of course, I got my mixing bowl sifter that I use, my spatula and whisk, and of course I got my little handy handheld mixer. As I always say, it's easier to mix it all together with one of those big fancy machines, but I don't have one. Alright, so this is going to be cooked at 350, and you want to preheat your oven, which I got going right now. And when you put them on the cookie sheet, use a parchment paper. It's a lot easier to clean up afterwards, and it allows the cookies to be lifted off really easy if for some reason you make a mistake and you burn them or something. They're a lot easier to throw in the garbage that way. However, we don't plan on doing that. Alright, so what you want to do now is you just want to take your whisk and your flour, and you want to take your baking soda and your salt and just put the dry ingredients with the dry ingredients for now. Alright, so I'll just put them together in one bowl, and just use your whisk to just incorporate them together and just set it off to the side. It just makes it easier for when you're mixing them all together later. Alright, so next thing you want to do is put your white sugar and your brown sugar in the bowl, and use your whisk and just incorporate the two of them together so that it just makes it a lot easier when you go to mix it together later. All right. It also helps get rid of the clumps as much as possible, but I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of clumps. You just try to minimize that, especially brown sugar is prone to clumping up, shall we say. All right. So once you got that all moved around, and you can take your, actually we'll save that one. Now you can take your butter, softened butter, and start putting all of your softened butter into your sugar. And of course, once you get all this in here, you can just break up the butter with a spoon or fork or spatula or something like that. Just initially. All right. Now, of course, doing this would be a lot easier if the butter is really soft. Okay, you don't want it melted, but you want to take your butter and all of your ingredients out of the fridge a little bit early. You don't want to have cold ingredients going in here, okay? So once you got that sort of mixed together, clean your finger there. So what you want to do now is take a fork and you just want to scramble up your egg. Alright, so break your egg into your bowl. and just scramble up your egg. It makes for incorporating it into the batter a lot easier to have it already scrambled up. And of course, if you want, you can take your vanilla now and put it in with the egg. Doesn't matter, you can put it in with the egg, you can put it in just with the batter, it makes no difference at all whatsoever. So just take your egg mixture with the vanilla, put it in with your butter and sugars. And now you want to use a handheld mixer to make this a lot easier to blend together. So you want to go slow at first. That way you don't have everything just flying up everywhere, making a big mess. And as it slowly gets incorporated, then you want to bump up your speed for a little bit. And it will make it quite creamy, all right, which is really what you want. So after that, really, all you got left to do is add 2 more ingredients. And so what you want to do now is just take your flour, use your sifter, and put about half of it at first into it, and just shake it out. Make sure you don't get any clumps inside there. Makes it a lot easier to blend together. And you want to use a spoon or a spatula to fold it together. All right. So once you got it all nicely folded together for the first half of your flour, you just obviously you want to put the other half in there. Because putting only half of it just wouldn't really cut it. Alright, so put the bowl in the sink. Have all your flour put in there. Pretty good. And now you just want to fold it all in back together and incorporate it until it's all well mixed together. Alright. Now some people may find it easier to use a wooden spoon. Some people obviously they'll like to use one of those fancy $300 or $500 or $600 blenders, a KitchenAid thing, which is great if you got it. Might as well use it. Helps a lot. And so from there, once you got it really incorporated and it's not leaving any big clumps of anything, batter anywhere, now you just take your coconut, pour it in, and mix it together. So this is where using a wooden spoon, especially for this part, because the batter tends to get quite thick after you put the flour in there. Use a hard spoon, wooden spoon, metal, whatever, and it's a lot easier to incorporate the coconut into the batter with a hard or wooden spoon. So I'm going to use my metal spoon that I have here. I do have wooden spoons, but I just don't feel like using a wooden spoon right now. So once you have it all incorporated together now, and you got enough coconut, hopefully that was enough. So the amount of coconut that you would put in there for this recipe really is about 1 cup or so. You can put a little bit more, a little less. It all depends on your own personal taste, of course. All right. Now we have it all well mixed together and incorporated. You can actually, if you wanted to, you can make one big huge cookie, but yeah, we're not doing that. Although that would be pretty cool though. Alright, so I'm just going to clean my fingers up. Alright, so now we take our cookie tray and just want to make little balls, and you want to make them around about an inch, you know, they're an inch round or so, and just take them and put them on your tray. All right. And when you cook these in the oven, like my other videos, like I said, I tend not to use the feature for convection. I like to use just a regular bake. Obviously, that's when you look at all the recipes, they typically say, they tell you how to bake them at a certain temperature. They don't tell you to use convection. But if you want to use convection, you can. You just got to remember, lower the temperature for convection. All right. And usually that is about a 25-degree drop in your temperature if you want to use that. Right. And it also cuts down the time that it takes to cook. So you just want to make some 12 balls to put on your tray. And once they're all on there, you can put them in the oven. Now, obviously some people like to just take their batter and just drop it on the tray, but I find it's always I just find it's way better to roll them into a little ball. Even chocolate chip cookies, rolling them in the ball, I just find it's more neat that way, and they kind of come out uniformly after they're cooked, right? So they all kind of cook at the same rate, as opposed to if you had some that were, you know, all kind of weird shapes and whatnot, which would happen when you drop them on there. But I mean, it wouldn't be crazy, but still, you want them to turn out good. So this will make, like pretty much any other batch of cookies I typically make, it'll make 3 dozen. Okay, so 3 dozen of whatever cookie it is obviously it's not bad. If you want to make more, well, just double or triple the recipe. As simple as that. And there's no reason why you can't double this recipe or triple it. It makes no difference. Okay, so once you're done that, you're going to put them in the oven at, like I said, at 350, which is already warmed up. And you're going to leave them in there for anywhere from 8 to 13 minutes. I know that's a big range in there, but that, like I always said before, it always depends on your oven. So some ovens work exceptionally well, and their temperatures are, I don't know, every oven is not the same. That's all I can say. And some they'll be done in 8 minutes, some they'll be done in 13. So you want to put them in on the middle rack, leave them in for, like I said, 8 to 13 minutes. Now typically what I do is I'll divide that and I'll just set the timer for the half. So for now, what I'm going to do is put the timer on for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, hopefully they will be done. If not, well, I'll put them back in for a few more minutes and we'll see how they turn out. So anyway, I'll let you go for now, and I will be back shortly when they are done. Alright, so the timer has gone off on the cookies, and so I have to put it back in for another minute, but the timer is ready to go back off again. So the grand total, it was 13 minutes, alright? So come out. And they look quite good. I don't know if you can really see that or not well. I know the lights are a little bit harder to see on there. But so you don't want to let them sit on your tray too long because they will continue to cook where the tray is warm. We're just came out of the oven. Ideally, you want to take them and put them on a cooling rack if you had a wire cooling rack, like I mentioned in many of my other little videos I did. However, if you don't have one, just use you know, a cutting board or something similar. You can even put them on a tea towel for now. Just let them cool off. They'll cool off in a few minutes. All right, so just take them off, and you just want to put them on your cooling rack or on your cutting board, which is what I have to use for now because that's all I got. That's part of that's what I got to deal with when I'm here up in Gatineau on an IR posting, and all my cooking tools and utensils and everything are back in Nova Scotia. But that's all good. Alright, so what we'll do is we're just gonna take one cookie here just to show you. I don't know if they can get it up close or not. So you can see, wait, let me just shut this light off, maybe it'll help. Maybe it's just not as bright. Alright, so you can see it's actually it's a nice little golden brown to it. Okay, so it's quite soft. Like I said, it is a soft cookie, and it's soft because it's still nice and warm. Alright, so you just want to break it open, and you can see inside is just so moist and just beautiful. Alright, so let's have a little taste. Oh, it's just delicious. Alright, so there you have it. That's soft coconut cookies. Alright, hope you enjoyed. And cheers. Alright, take care.